Everyone, my name is Dabini Rali, and today is the last day of our presentation. So today I'm going to present on understanding meta narratives in the light of cultural studies. This is my academic information, and this is the table of content. First, we discuss what is meta narrative. The term meta narrative, which can also be referred to as meta narrative or grand narrative, meta derives from the Greek word meaning beyond, while narrative refers to a story characterized by its communication, and in French, the term meta-recit or grand recit refer to a narrative that delves into narratives concerning historical significance, personal experiences or knowledge, and ultimately providing insight into a society. The meta narratives are also in the Marxism and functionalism. Meta narratives have legitimization. The tragedy of the modern society is that it has given full legitimacy to the hegemony of meta narratives. Uh, the uh, the uh, uh, Lyotard refers to the destruction of Jews by the Nazis. Destruction is supported by the meta-narrative theories of the superiority and iron races as claimed by Hitler. The term is best known for its use by Jean Francois Lyotard. In the following quotation, he quoted this work by this line, simplifying to the extreme. I define postmodern as a incredulity toward meta-narratives. By this, Lyotard asserted that the postmodern condition is marked by growing doubt in grand narratives that once provides a structure and meaning, like individual uh, accept exceptionalism and information limits and programs in Western uh, thoughts during modernity. Uh, John Francois Lyotard. He was the philosopher, sociologist, and literary theorist. The term meta-narrative was introduced by this French philosopher in his book The Postmodern Condition, a report of knowledge. He remarks that I define postmodern as incredulity toward meta-narrative for various reasons. Lyotard is widely regarded as one of the most influential postmodern theorists. Meta-narratives and postmodernism. The meta-narrative is included in also cultural study and the part of postmodernism. The postmodern condition first published in French in 1979, and in English it is published in 1984. In the Lyotard opposed the heterogeneity of little narratives to the dogmatism of meta-narratives. In Lyotard's term, it means a story of narrative that is presumed to have a great generality and represent a final and apodictic truth because of the great thinkers era. Men such and generalized critic intellect, and in fact the very idea of an intellectual was a product of enlightenment, and intellectuals were called philosophers who enjoyed celebrity and prestige. Lyotard calls meta-narrative or grand narrative meta-narrative in movie Babel. Babel is a movie released in 2006, and in this movie reflect the problem of gap between meta-narratives and literal narratives, like powerful of a developed country to the small countries. In Babel, meta-narrative reflected in two powerful countries as the first word that have an authority to praise the third word or small community. Those meta narratives are in this movie USA, Japan, and all generation in Japan. Bible written by the writers throughout its condition of each country and conflict can be analyzed by using the theory of postmodernism that reflected in Lyotard's thoughts. The example of meta-narratives in the American Dreams. The American Dreams is a quintessential meta-narrative in the United States. This meta-narrative has been deeply ingrained in American culture and has influenced in aspiration and values of this generation. The American dreams is deeply connected to the concept of meta narratives because it represents a grand narratives that shapes culture, beliefs, and values. The American dreams is a meta narrative that provides a broad narrative framework for understanding success and prosperity in the American culture. The second example is the Marxism. Marxism is a meta narrative that offers a comprehensive explanation of the socio-economic and political dynamics of society. It is deeply connected to the concept of meta narratives at it. Encompasses a worldview that seeks to explain the nature of class struggle and historical meta narratives and the dynamics of capitalism and socialism. Um, Marxism, with its focus on class struggle, the role of laborers, and the quest for a classic society, is a meta-narrative that shapes our understanding of capitalism, socialism, and the dynamic of power and inequality in contemporary society. These are some other examples. Many Christians believe that human existence is initially sinful but offered redemption and eternal peace in heaven. Thus, a representation, a belief in a universal rule and telos of humankind. See also universal history. The second one is a Freudian theory. It is holds that human history is a narrative of the representation of libidinal desires. The Enlightenment theorist, it is a belief that rational thoughts allied to scientific reasons and would lead inevitably towards moral, social, and ethical progress. These are my references. Thank you.
Nirali, how do meta-narratives influence our understanding of history and culture?
Yes, Mansi. The meta narratives are the part of postmodernism, and also in the cultural studies, the meta narrative influence our understanding of history and culture. In the history, we find the example of movies, and in the cultural also in our society, we find many example like this I mentioned, American dreams and Marxism, and the culture and religions are also the part of it.
Nirali, how different cultures interpret and adapt meta-narratives to fit their unique perspective and values. Meta-narratives in culture.
The meta narratives are part of our culture and our society, and we find the many examples in our society, and also find in the cinemas, and in our past also, and many uh, cultural and many cultural events, and in also many theories are also influence on meta narratives.